What is good, guys? Matt from Duality Gaming here, giving you another video. And if I sound different, it's because I've moved. Probably a little bit quieter as well. Sorry, it's kind of late at night. I'm in a student house, so I can't be like, "What is good, guys?" and everything. So yeah, no Duality Gaming news today. There will be one tomorrow, maybe, depending on when this video comes out. I mean, tomorrow and Saturday, because I'm recording this on Friday. If you hear any like moving about or anything or laughing, it's because I live in a student house. So we're just gonna have to deal with that for the next couple of 2 years. Anyway, the NX is a handheld with a detachable controllers, uses cartridges. Now, basically this has kind of been going into a lot of rumours, and you know the whole, if the rumour persists for long enough, it's probably true. Well, it's basically that. It was like the kind of hybrid console between a handheld and a main console, and basically that is what is going on here. Anyway, I'm going to read what's going on. Nintendo's upcoming console, the NX, with that will be a handheld with detachable controllers, according to multiple sources that have spoken with Eurogamer. The NX will be a powerful handheld console with its own built-in display. On either side there will be controller sections that can be attached and detached. Now we're going to kind of break this down, do everything. I'm going to kind of do it in a more of a intelligent way rather than kind of just shouting in what I normally do. You know, if you watch this channel long enough, you know what I'm like. I do like to shout and do what I like. Anyway, now it's like this will go into basically, if all the hardware is in the actual controller, and then this basically the docking station will just be there to kind of hook it up to your TV, then that would be going into kind of what we have been saying and doing. Not saying, well, basically saying, and a lot of rumors have been going on. And the detachable controllers obviously would go into the fact that you put the NX there, you detach them. From the pictures I've seen, it doesn't really, I'm wondering where the back triggers are, but maybe this is just concept art and everything. It is really interesting, but it does also look quite big, so we're going to have to see where it goes. Now, obviously, the graphics and everything come out later, and there are some things that actually have confirmed, well, not confirmed, but solidified what some rumours we've already known to be. As I said, you know, if a rumour persists for long enough, it kind of, you know, there's some validity to it. Anyway, the NX will be able to hook up to your TV so you can game on the big screen. A dock station will be used to connect the NX to your TV. So basically, you know, maybe you have this little box and you just kind of place the controller and bam, there you go, you know, it goes onto your TV. Now, the thing is, do you count this as the most powerful handheld to ever, handheld gaming device to ever grace the market, or do you consider this a weak, lower than Xbox One kind of control pad? Now, we'll go into that, and there are obviously lots of rumours, and obviously because of this is still a rumour, we don't know what's going on. This could be all wrong, and from certain multiple things, like certain sources I've done before, obviously you can go check the channel and everything, and what Digital Foundry kind of speculated, I think what I'm going to say is probably going to go into it. Anyway, Nintendo has decided to use game cartridges, a physical media for the NX. According to sources, Nintendo is aiming to use 32GB cartridges, which would not be large enough to fit most modern games. Now, I have a problem with that, because the Wii U discs were 32 gigs. I think they were 32 gigs, they may have even been 25, and the hard drive was 32, and that's where I'm getting mixed up. But that would be a really dumb move on Nintendo, because then you can see that they are already isolating the third parties. And obviously I know Nintendo is not one for kind of, what's the word, going towards competing Sony and Microsoft, but there is a point where you have to realise there are these consoles out there, they can take your sales away, and with the Wii U, as we saw, they did. The Wii U, in my opinion, had some great games, but due to the fact of there was lack of third parties, so you get so many droughts, and then basically the poor advertisement which goes into this, it becomes a problem. Digital downloads will also be available. Nintendo originally considered using digital downloads only and no physical media, but decided against it. Now, the problem with this kind of physical media, let me just kind of speculate. If this, let's say, just hypothetically, right, is 32 gigs, which is less than the PS4 and the Xbox One's discs, right? We'll say that. Obviously, with the cartridges, there will be less loading times and everything else. You know, there's no reading speed, is so much quicker. But we kind of go back into the N64 PS1 kind of thing, where the PS1 had so much more capacity and the Nintendo 64 did, and the people didn't, and developers did not like shoehorning their games onto it, and I really feel this is kind of what's happening now. Let's say they did that, right? But then you could have expanded cartridges. So instead of having 32, you could have 120 out. Now, the chances are, knowing Nintendo, this is not a thing, right? This is not a thing. But if we think about it in a way of like Resident Evil Revelations. Most 3DS cartridges are like 2 gigabytes. Revelations on the 3DS was 4, right? They had expanded media. It costed more, obviously, but you know, it allowed more, and maybe that can be a thing. Maybe they can have that expandability. So rather than like being locked to a disc with a certain thing and it can only read so much, maybe they're able to do multimedia, but that would multiple sizes, and maybe the lower like field storage ones would be cheaper to make and produce. Maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, with Nintendo and knowing how they act and everything, that is probably a bit too intelligent. I know I'm just pissed off a lot of people by saying that, but not when I say not by intelligent, more they don't think like that. One source claims the hardware is radically different from the Wii and the NX will not support backwards compatibility. Another source says or claims it will run on a new OS from Nintendo. Now, let me go on to that. Now, there were rumors about it being backwards compatible. Considering the next bit of this rumor, it makes sense why it wouldn't be, and to be fair, with everything that's happened with the architecture of the GameCube, of the Wii and the Wii U, they're all relatively the same. They're all PowerPC. Developers don't like using it anymore. It's such an archaic kind of way of thinking on it. Basically, the easiest way to explain it is the 360 was on that, right? And it was so easy to plonk 360 games onto the Wii U, and that's kind of what happened. And as for the OS for Nintendo, now, I did kind of report on it with the Android thing. I can't remember if I was very certain on it, but as I'm a human, I'm allowed to change my mind. I really don't think Nintendo would have ever done some fucking stock Android on a console. That would have been stupid. That would have been hacked so quickly. And Nintendo, the whole reason for the GameCube's discs were to stop pirates. So why the hell would Nintendo do something like Android, which would be quite easy to hack? So Nintendo have made a new OS. It'll probably be some spiritual successor to Wara Plaza. I think I may have just butchered that, but you know. Anyway, the meat and the potatoes of this source. The NX will use Nvidia's mobile processor Tegra. Nintendo is not aiming to achieve graphical parity with the rivals Microsoft and Sony. Nintendo is working to squeeze all of its technology in a handheld. Now the NX could possibly be just some strange handheld successor, and then they get a console, right? That probably is not going to happen. The way they have hyped this up, I say hyped in the fact that Nintendo hasn't actually said anything. It literally is more user generated hype. With the Tegra thing, if there are rumors it can be the X1, which wouldn't be much of a jump from the Wii U, to be completely honest. And to be fair, if you go look at the jump from the GameCube to the Wii, it wasn't a big jump. The biggest jump Nintendo have had in a long time was the Wii to the Wii U. Digital Foundry have also kind of speculated that it could be the X2, which would actually kind of go along PS4 and Xbox route, even if they don't want to, even if they're not aiming to, they still just kind of end up there. That would explain why it's coming out in March 2017. The only other thing I can say about that is it's the first console in a while to use an Nvidia graphics card. Think about it. The PS4 and Xbox One use AMD. Now I think the PS3 uses a Nvidia card, but think about how that's almost 10 years old, so take that as you will. The Wii U was AMD, the Wii was ATI, which is going back into AMD, I believe, and same with GameCube. So this is quite interesting, and maybe you can get those physics that everyone seems to love and whatnot. So, you know, maybe Batman, thingy edition, Return to Arkham, maybe put on the Wii U, and then you can get all those nice little particle effects and whatever else you get with it. Anyway, going on from that, I can talk about that a bit more. Another source stated Nintendo recently moved a gear within the planning of the NX ahead of the expected September unveiling. Nintendo is planning on marketing making the marketing message simple after the confusing Wii U launch. Now, the Wii U launch wasn't confusing, it was more the fact there was no marketing. There was zero, right? The confusing would be like the PS3 adverts with the lifting baby and the PS3. That was confusing. I would like to, if you can do this in the comment section, just type how many Wii U adverts you saw in the last year, and I want to see out the numbers, because at the moment I've seen zero. In 2016 I have not seen one Wii U advert. Nintendo did not try, they just kind of let it out to die. Anyway, I like the fact it's going to Nvidia, so hopefully you can get all those physics. I really hope that they do get the X2. Not even to go parody with the fucking PS4 or an Xbox One. Disregarding that altogether, if you think of it as more of a future-proofing self, so instead of this kind of being slightly more powerful than the 7th generation consoles, which the Wii U was anyway. The only problem the Wii U had is no one bothered using the other 2 cores, so you just got a fucking bottleneck out of the arse, right? Obviously, this with the whole Tegra thing, it goes into the backwards compatibility because of that. But I really do hope they do port stuff like Splatoon, like Mario Maker, like Smash, like Mario Kart, those kind of really great Wii U games. Even if it was just a straight up port, right, nothing changed, just port straight onto it, I would be completely happy with that, because the Wii U, in my opinion, had some serious gems in it. And with the whole poor marketing, not a lot of people got to experience it, and Pikmin 4 was apparently coming out for it. Now, in terms of, I think Nintendo are going to be unveiling in September, probably via Direct, because let's be honest, it won't happen at Gamescom, it won't happen at a Tokyo Game Show. When has Nintendo known to go to a fucking console, a fucking conference lately and gone and revealed something? The Wii U was revealed on the Direct environment. No, it wasn't. It was revealed in E3. Most of the things they have done have been via Directs now. It's not on that. If they do it on a conference, I'd be surprised, considering their whole E3 stance on just going direct. So, yeah, tell me what you think down below. I find it really interesting. I really hope it is the Tegra 2, Tegra X2. Not, as I said, just to kind of future-proof it a little bit, kind of give it a bit more oomph. That way, you kind of do get those third parties back. Obviously, Nintendo, it kind of seems of shades of the past for Nintendo, where they're not really, they're being a bit ignorant towards the other 2 consoles, and they're not acknowledging it. And the fact is, right, the consumers don't think of, oh, this is a different experience. I'm sorry if this is going to piss some people off, but you know what, fuck you. It's not, people don't think like that. They want a gaming console. They don't want fucking, like, VR, right? I'm just going to hate saying this. The majority of people aren't going to fucking buy VR because they don't want to fuck around standing up or whatever. And I feel with the Nintendo Wii, with the NX, it's just going to be kind of a, it's there, but the PS4 does everything better, so why don't we just get that, right? Obviously, I'm a Nintendo fan, I fucking own every Nintendo console since the GameCube, but I do feel that this kind of ignorance towards the other consoles is a bit of a downfall, because they can't, in my opinion, they should play towards the fact of you can get your third parties here and you can get your Nintendo exclusive. It would be a great library, but they don't do that. And in a way, a lot for the past couple of years, Nintendo consoles have been, since the Wii essentially, have been that second console. But the thing is, with the way the economy is going and everything like that, people can't really afford to buy second consoles anymore. And sometimes, especially in this kind of way, what's the point of buying a second console if fucking the PS4 does it better than whatever, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to go for a watered down port, especially if people got the PS4. They're not going to be enticed to get the NX if it's doing everything, if the PS4 can do everything it can and better, and that's slightly worrying, because I don't want to see Nintendo go down that path, and I don't know, they're going to have to experience some serious crash before they experience it. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think down below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, subscribe to the channel, it really does help me in the resale. Follow the Instagram and Twitter, Facebook for daily updates, and ultimately, guys, as I always say, have a nice day.